2.7, solving equations in one variable. So the really long notes here. Extraneous solution.
I'm sorry, I don't know why it's leaking.
Are solutions that are not actually solutions.
Alright. I don't. Wait a minute.
Of the original equation. So it would be something like it tells you that x equals 2 and x equals 0 are solutions, but when you plug them back in, it would make it undefined. Like it would make your denominator 0, which would make it undefined.
Okay, that's interesting.
So this basically will say a lot of solve and check. Solve and check. Or it may not specifically say check, but you have to check
like,
because
check that it's extraneous.
you have to make sure that, yeah, if it doesn't work when you plug it back in, it's extraneous. And if it does, then it is a solution.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes both will work, sometimes none will work, sometimes only one will work. It just depends. That's why I have to check them.
Stuff in.
Yeah, well, after you solve it, yes.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then a rational equation is just something like f of x over g of x. So it's two functions like divided by each other and set equal to 0. Or I guess not in every case it's equal to 0 because it could be equal to something else in your solving. But anyways, essentially that's what it looks like. Well, that was your super long notes.
Was that's it?
Yeah. So we're just going to go straight into examples because there would be absolutely no point in ever watching that as a at-home video. Unless you just really want to make your notes super pretty.
I can't stop thinking about the shoes that Virginia Academy had.
Oh, they were
nice.
so
Oh my God.
nice. Number 5, like, had a really bad attitude, though.
Yeah, she just stopped trying in the middle of the game.
Trying.
She just stopped. She was done.
All right. So x plus 2 equals 15 over x. So we've got to solve this. So I need to get rid of the x in the denominator over here. So I'm multiplying the entire thing by x. Okay, because what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So you might as well just do it all as one big step. So on the left, I'm basically distributing. So I've got x squared plus 2x equals x top and bottom cancels on the right, so equals 15. We need to move it over, the 15 over, so it's equal to 0. So x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Then we need to factor and solve. So what would that factor into?
Positive 5, -3.
Yeah.
Positive 5, -3. So this is x plus 5, x minus 3 equals 0. So set each piece equal to 0. So x equals -5, x equals 3. And then we've got to do the check part. So we've got to plug them back in. So -5 plus 2 equals 15 over -5. So -3 equals -3. And remember, when you check, you can't move stuff left to right. You've got to keep what's on the left, and what's on the right. So I know the -5 works. And then 3 plus 2 equals 15 over 3. So 5 equals 5. So that works. So both of those are solutions. Okay, if one of them was not, then you only need to box the one that is. So like, let's say that only x equals -5 had actually been a solution, then we would only box that one.
Okay.
So you're checking one to make sure it doesn't give you something that's undefined, but you're also checking to make sure that it gives you a true statement when you set them equal to each other for something to not be extraneous. All right, another one. Number 6, and I would leave a little bit of room because of the stuff that we end up multiplying. I'd leave a little bit of room on the left side of like where you write so that you can write what it's being multiplied by. So 3 over x minus 1 plus, and I would leave a little bit of space, 2 over x equals 8.
Oopsies. Where did I do that?
So with this one, it's not one thing being multiplied all the way across, so we're multiplying each individual one on the left to get a common denominator. Okay, we need a common denominator. So in order to get a common denominator, I need to multiply the first one by x over x. And I need to multiply the second one by x minus 1 over x minus 1.
Oh, makes sense.
So then when I write it, I can write it all as one combined fraction. So on the top, you have 3x plus 2x minus 2 over x times x minus 1. Now, if you want to multiply the bottom through, that's fine either way. Equals 8. So then you have 5x minus 2 over, I'll go ahead and multiply the bottom, x squared minus x equals 8. So now I have to solve. So I'm going to multiply the denominator over here. Okay, so it's gone on the left, and I'll be multiplying 8 by it. So 5x minus 2 equals 8 times x squared minus x. So 5x minus 2 equals 8x squared minus 8x. And if you wanted to do some of this like as one step, like if you didn't want to have this extra step here of multiplying, you could have done it here. That's fine. So then I need to move the 5x and the negative 2 over, or you can move it the other way, but I prefer positive value. So 0 equals 8x squared minus 13x plus 2. Now, can this be factored? No, it cannot. So, what other method might I use to find the values? Quadratic formula. So, negative b, so negative 13, so that's positive. So 13 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 13 squared, minus 4 times a times c, so times 8 times 2, all over 2 times 8. So inside you got 169 minus, was it 32 minus 2 times 2, 64. So that's 105. So you'd have 13 plus or minus the square root of 105 over 16. These are going to give you weird answers, so you're going to type them in your calculator and get the decimal values for them. They're not going to be nice and pretty. So you have two answers, so you'll have 13 plus the square root of 105 over 16, and 13 minus the square root of 105 over 16.
Well, we're gonna plug it into the calculator.
Yeah. And when you go to check these, I would also use your calculator to check them.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Because it's not, exactly the prettiest thing to have to work with, so. And just do 2 decimal places. Yeah. Do we have either of them so far?
Oh, yeah. For 13 plus, yeah, it's 1.45. And then for the other one, it's 0.17.
Okay. So then when we plug it in, we have 3 over 1.45 minus 1 plus 2 over 1.45 equals 8. And then
8.04 equals
8.04 equals 8. Okay. And then the other one,
8. Or
3.
8.05, sorry.
Okay.
How'd you plug in the thing to the calculator, the 13 plus?
I did it separately. I did 13
Oh,
plus
how
the
did you-
square root of 105, and then I pressed enter, and then I divided it by 16. I didn't put it like in a fraction.
Yeah, 'cause I did not.
Did we get this one? Was this one equal to?
Um,
Well, I got that it was equal to 8 on the, when I plugged in the 13 plus root 105 over 16, but I just plugged it in how it was in my calculator, like, I didn't get any.
Like you didn't round it? And you got 8 equals 8?
Yeah,
Okay.
like exactly how it is, I just plugged it in.
Okay. So,
I got 8.15.
okay, yeah. So if you don't round it, then obviously it gives you the nice answer and it shows you that it does work. If it's anything really, really close, like where it's just like a little bit of a decimal off, you would still say that yes, it works because we did round. Now, if it gave you 0.17 and there was nothing after it and it's like that, then obviously that's different. But because it was a rounded number, as long as it's close, we'll say that it works. So both of these. We can say work.
That was a lot.
Okay, so how did you do the 3 over 1.45 minus 1? How'd you plug that in?
I did 3 over 0.45.
0.45?
Yeah, because
Like 1.45 minus 1 would just be 0.45.
and then I got the answer for that, which is 6.66666. And then I added that, and then in parentheses I put 2 divided by 1.45.
Okay.
Bless you.
Less,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, 10x plus 6 over x equals negative 7. So what should I do to this one?
Move to 7.
You got a common denominator that.
Yeah, you can either do, well, kind of common denominator. I want to get rid of the denominator. Because it's not two things don't have a denominator. If both things have a denominator, I need to get a common denominator. But since only one does, I'm just going to multiply the whole thing by x. I could move the 7 over first and then do it. You'll get the same answer either way. So I usually do the multiplication first and then I move it over. So x squared plus 6x equals negative 7x. Or wait, sorry, that's just plus 6, not 6x. X is canceled. So then move it over and get it in the right order. X squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. Factors for this one.
6 and 6x.
X plus 6, x plus 1. So x equals -6, x equals -1. And to check it, we have, do 6 first. -6 plus 6 over -6 equals -7. So -6 minus 1 equals -7. -7 equals -7. And then same thing with -1. -1 plus 6 over -1 equals -7. So -7 equals -7. So those both work. I keep looking at that clock and it is most definitely wrong. And it's not even daylight savings time wrong.
No, it's
Yeah, no, it's like a whole different kind of wrong.
Well, it's 9:51 right now. That is not 7:51.
Yeah, not even close.
It's like 5 in the morning.
Alright, 4x over x plus 4 plus 3 over x minus 1 equals 15 over x squared plus 3x minus 4. So if you see a denominator that is not in factored form, factor it first. What does this factor into?
1 and 3. I mean,
Negative
-1
1 and 4.
Yeah, -1 and
Yes.
4. So this is x minus 1, x plus 4. Well, now what do we have? Or what do you see?
Oh, those are.
can they
It's
cancel?
the same thing.
So I'm going to multiply the whole thing now by x minus 1, x plus 4. You'll see why in just a second. So ignore that now. So times x minus 1 times x plus 4. So I multiply the first piece by this. The x plus 4's cancel. Leaves you with 4x times x minus 1. Plus, I multiply the second piece by this. The x minus 1's cancel. Top and bottom. So you have 3 times x plus 4 equals, whole thing cancels on this side. So it's equal to 15.
Always.
Now, you could still go about it and multiply the first one by x minus 1 over x minus 1, and then the next one. But ultimately, it's going to cancel because it's on both sides of the equal sign. That's why we can do that. Okay? You have something on one side and something on the other that are and what enable it to cancel. So, distribute. We've got 4x squared minus 4x plus 3x plus 12 equals 15. So I'm going to move the 15 over and combine this middle term. So 4x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. What does this factor into? Or how would I factor that?
Wait, why is it minus 3? You took it.
I subtracted the 15 from 12.
It would
I
be
just did it all in one step to make it shorter.
-4 and +3. So like x.
Yes, but I have to do the middle. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of this, I have to do the middle term, so I have to write it. So 4x squared, unless you use Ethan's fancy method.
I think I'm okay.
I feel like if you learned that way to start with, I feel like either way you learn to start with is just the way that you just have to commit
Yeah.
to. Like, I understand the method that he uses, and it probably is honestly easier, but it confuses me, so.
Yeah.
But if you're just so inclined, you can ask him to show you.
But I'm just not.
Alright, so we can take out a 4x, leaves you with x minus 1. Take out a 3, x minus 1. So 4x plus 3 and x minus 1. So x equals negative 3/4. X equals 1. So you can also, if you want to, think about this as x equals negative 0.75 if it makes it easier for you to think about when you go back to check it. So we check. We have 4 times negative 0.75 over negative 0.75 plus 4 plus 3 over negative 0.75 minus 1 equals 15 over negative 0.75 squared plus 3 times negative 0.75 minus 4.
Goodness.
I can't even fit it.
Oops. I keep writing X.
No, I wrote the 0.75 too many times. I started writing 7.5.
Oh, this doesn't even fit in my gosh.
Oh, my calculator's off. Don't you hate when like you type something in and then you realize your calculator's not on?
Yeah.
I've done that quite a bit recently. I was
Like,
doing
I just
matrices
type in-
and my calculator wasn't even on.
I just type in the whole problem and then I look down and I'm like, it's not.
I've also done that putting in the codes out of the Coca-Cola tops for like to get money or whatever.
Mhm.
I've also typed in quite a few of those without actually typing them in because I didn't hit next.
Oh.
It's very annoying.
Negative 0.75. I almost said 65. I don't even know what to do. What an icky number that. Actually, no. This is what I'm gonna do. What'd you say? That is reversed. Divided by
Oh. Alright.
negative 1.75. Ah.
Oh.
Enter. Okay. Equals.
Oh, I did that wrong. Oh.
Oh.
Too many 7.5s.
Too many 7.5s.
Yes, I did this wrong.
There's probably such an easy way to do this.
Got it. This seems. Oh, that doesn't seem right.
It's a really big or really, really small number, however you want to look at it.
Then I probably didn't do it right.
No,
I got,
I didn't
I
do
got
it.
negative 2.
Yeah, I got negative.
I got negative 2.53.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did something.
I am negative 2.
See, I told you I would do it.
Oh, I got it wrong because it does not equal. It does not.
It does not equal.
It does not equal. Well, one. Well,
I'm still.
Let me just write it in my
going.
calculator and not do it individually. Let me just.
Still going.
I tried to.
Nah, that doesn't equal. Maybe
Not even
it's
close.
not.
Let
Maybe
me
it
just
doesn't
do
equal.
a lot of parentheses.
I got an error.
You got a literal error, like it just says error. Oh.
Wait.
Okay. I
Oh, because I did
Hold on.
0.75, not negative 0.75.
I did negative.
2 points.
Hold on. I have something written down wrong on my paper. It should be this if you do the left side.
That is.
Oh,
Okay,
oh,
yes.
that's what I, well, I got point
that for
three.
the left
I
side.
got .63.
I have mine to where
Yeah.
it's not in decimals. I like multiplied so that it's actually whole numbers. So I have something like a 200 number.
Oh.
I'm trying something. Ooh. And then 15.
All right, I got the same thing on both sides.
Okay, I still am not.
I didn't get the
Wait.
same thing on both sides.
I did not get the same thing.
How did I not get the same thing on both sides?
It's just.
So you just
Oh, great,
you
there
plug
we
in
go.
the right side into your calculator.
How did I
Oh, wait.
What?
I
Because I
might
did
know
that
it
too.
too.
I got
What?
Let me see.
Well, my calculator needed 30,000 parentheses, so I have to do each part like differently. Oh!
Yeah, I forgot to put the parentheses
not do-
around the points.
I think I just
the
didn't do
negative
pivotal.
points there.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, mine.
Oh, I think
So
I
it
did
just
that.
squared the 0.75 and didn't
Yeah,
take
same.
the negative. So
Well, and you have to make sure you use the negative sign on your calculator, not the minus sign.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I got the right answer.
Okay,
Wait a
good.
second, I have not yet.
There we go. I had the parentheses placed incorrectly.
Still got the
I
right
got
answer
it.
wrong. But whatever. I mean, I still can't get it correct on the other side. Oh, I didn't divide it by 15. Oh, well, I have to right now.
That'll probably do it.
Yeah.
I still didn't get that. What?
This is really making me
I don't know what
be
I did
eager.
wrong. Whatever. I'll just write that it works and figure it out later.
So then do the other one, plug it in.
Oh my lord, I gotta lose. I'm still on this one.
Well, this one's a little simpler.
But as soon as you write it down, what do you notice?
What do I need?
Yeah.
There's a
Denominator.
0 in the denominator.
0 in the denominator. Extraneous.
Look, that was easy.
So we don't have to do that.
Okay, yeah.
So 1 is extraneous, so the only one that works is negative 0.75.
That's amazing. I'm very happy. Oh, it does.
Why couldn't the 0.75 been the extraneous one?
But you still would have had to type it out and check. Because it could have been extraneous for a different reason.
That's true. My favorite thing to do is just clear everything.
My favorite thing to do is put the box around the answers.
Alright. A word problem.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you say you love word problems?
It's like how I love sentences.
Consider all rectangles with an area of 182 feet squared. Let x be the length of one side of such a rectangle.
Not
Express the perimeter as a function of x.
the.
We're not doing the second part of that problem. We are only doing this first part. This is part A of this problem.
Okay.
So we have a rectangle. One side is x. Now, what is the area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Area equals length times width. So I know, let's just call that the width. So the width is x. Now, the area was given to us to be 182. So we have 182 is equal to L times x. I know x, so, or well, I more or less know x. Okay. So 182 over x equals L. So my other side is 182 over x.
Oh.
Is that literally just that's what you're doing?
Yeah,
Part
we're
A.
not done yet, but yeah. Oh, thank you. I'll actually see them tonight, so it's perfect. Thank you.
Just in case, I want to make sure I got it.
So then I want perimeter though.
Okay.
Okay, perimeter as a function of x. So perimeter is a function of x is what it asks for. So in general, not specific to this problem, what is perimeter for a rectangle?
Length plus width times length. Oh,
Length.
Two length
L
plus
plus
2
2W.
width.
2L plus 2W. So this is length, this is width. So now P equals 2 times 182 over x plus 2 times x. So you can either write it as P equals 364 over x plus 2x, or you can multiply and get rid of the x, or like not multiply to get rid of it, but like simplify it down. But I'm okay with you just leaving it there. Like if you wanted to get a common denominator and write it all as 1, you could do that too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the other one that I was going to do. So your problems are 5, 9, 15. 25 and 29, and I'm just going to tell you 29 is going to have a weird answer. And make sure you know how to do 35 if it was given to you on a quiz or a test.